that sound just always so satisfying? I love these things. They're the Clean Simple Eats clear protein drinks. And these babies are so good. They don't taste like protein. Well, I mean, they have like a slightly proteiny aftertaste, but it doesn't taste like overly proteiny. Like, I think they're really good. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say it tastes like soda, but I think once you like get used to the aftertaste, you kind of start to crave it too. But they had this candied crayon apple for the holidays, and it was supposed to be a limited release, and then they did us all a solid and kept it on as a permanent flavor. So I'm very stoked about that. Also, it rained last night, and I was walking my dog this morning and breathing in that like post rain air. Oh, it gives me chills. It just does something to me. I don't even know. But it just makes me feel renewed. It makes me want to be cozy in the house all day. So I'm bundled up with my little cozies, and this is a video I've been very excited about because I wanted to do a full face of Sephora bestsellers. And I was scouring the bestsellers list, and I think it does tend to change a little bit. I don't know how often they update it, but it's not always the same. So maybe by the time this video comes up, some of these things won't even be on the list and there will be new things, but this is all on there as of last night when I checked. And a lot of these things I have not tried in combination with one another, so I'm slightly nervous. We're going to find out how it looks together. We're going to see how it turns out, and I'm excited. So first I'm going to do my skin prep is my Inky List Bioactive Ceramide Repairing and Plumping Moisturizer. I've really been loving this guy lately for skin prep because it's spring, but I'm still winter dry. I'm going to let that sit for just a minute, but I did get my new Rare Beauty eyebrow gel in the mail, and I love this stuff. I love the way this stuff operates. Now I'm going to go in with the Armani Eye Tint. This was on the bestseller list when I last checked, and this is the color 22M. It's Cashew. I don't have any of the palettes or other eyeshadows that were on the bestseller list. I'm trying to have a lighter hand with my eyeshadow. Sometimes I tend to be a little aggressive with the eyeshadow blending, and I don't think that's necessary. But I do really love this stuff for like a little, either like a base for an eyeshadow look or like a one and done shadow. I just think it's so pretty. Okay, I'll go in and clean that up in a little bit, but looking good for now. I have not tried this combination of products together, so we're learning together for the first time if this is going to be a winning combination or a big old flop. So let's see. But first, I'm going to go in with the Milk Hydro Grip. This, I think, is always on the bestseller list. I do love this primer, but I haven't used it in a while. I just haven't really been drawn to like primers or gripping primers in general. But you know, today we're going to change that because I have missed her. So I'm just gonna apply that with my fingers. I'm gonna do like one and a half pumps about. Definitely feels hydrating, but it feels tacky, which is exactly what we want. That's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna go in with the Hollywood Flawless Filter. I had a little mini guy because I mentioned this in another video, but I do have the Charlotte Tilbury foundation stick in a few colors actually, and I was trying to go through those before I buy another big version of this. I just love this stuff so much. I'm just gonna go on pretty generously with her. It's very light tapping to blend it into the skin. Oh, I love this stuff so much. There will never be a glowy primer that I adore as much as I adore her. And I know that's a big, bold claim to make, but I feel comfortable making it because of how many years I've loved that stuff. Okay, so now for our foundation, we're going to go in with the Dior foundation stick. And I don't gravitate towards this one as much, I think because of the fragrance. I'm a little nervous about the fragrance irritating my skin, but it is beautiful and I still do love it. But we're gonna do, I know they don't have Rhode on Sephora, so I'm cheating a little bit, but this is like the Hailey Bieber hack where she put like a lot of the Dior foundation on her hand and then she added some Rhode glazing milk in there and then kind of mixed it in on the brush. I'm already liking this glow that I see. This Dior foundation stick is like, I think the most perfect color match I've ever had with the foundation. It is the perfect color match for my skin tone. It's 0N. Okay, I actually grabbed a foundation brush with nothing on it. Which is, and I'm gonna kind of buff that out, which is something I've been doing after I saw on Lisa Eldridge's YouTube channel. And I did this in my last video where I talked about ways I upgraded my makeup routine by implementing tips and tricks that I've seen from makeup artists over the years. And I think this is definitely a very good tip. Just removes any excess product and really makes it look very seamless, and it's a great tip. It definitely makes things a little more like diffused and natural, which I love. Okay, now I'm going to go in with the Makeup by Mario Skin Enhancer in the shade Light Medium for my bronzer. So one of my stepsisters is in yoga teacher training and I'm so proud of her. She's amazing at yoga. She's been doing yoga forever, and throughout her training she does classes, and her last one was so good. She's definitely a natural at this, and she has another one tonight, so I'm going with a few of my other sisters, and there's 7 kids total in our blended family. So I have 2 blood siblings and then 4 step siblings, and we have a really fun blended family. Our parents have been married for around, I think, 16 years. So we just went to Disneyland in January with the girls and it was so fun. So I always get super excited to do things with the sisters. It's so fun. I'm actually gonna do I normally use a brush for that, but I don't know where that brush that I normally use went. So I'm gonna improvise over here. We're all about improvising. Then I'm gonna go back over with my 101 brush and kind of just like blend out the edges of all of that and make sure everything is nice and seamless. I like to really take my time with the blending process. Now I'm going to go in with liquid blush. Of course, we have Little Miss Rare Beauty in the shade Hope. She is an OG. And this shade is just like my most perfect, like, everyday blush shade. I do like to blend on the back of my hand just so that I don't potentially go overboard, but we are gonna clean up with concealers. That's why I'm being very like messy with the application. That's something that I learned watching Katie Jane Hughes videos, is doing concealer last, and I really love the way that looks and turns out. So I'm a little nervous because I haven't used Kosas in a while, and I'm gonna reintroduce her because I do love this concealer. This was my holy grail for such a long time, and then I've just been using the Tower 28 for the last little while, and that's kind of become my new staple, my new holy grail. But I wanted to revisit the Kosas, and this is on the bestseller list, and I remember how well loved she was by me. So, but they expanded their shade range, and I think that was my only issue with it before, was the shade was a little weird. I had 1.5C, and this is 1N. So I do think this will potentially be even like a little bit better of a match for me. So I'm going to put it on the back of my hand, take my concealer brush, and really like work that into the bristles. That is such a better color match for me than the other one. When I embrace the pale skin and I don't have like a tan on and I get foundations that actually match my skin tone, I'm always kind of shocked by how fair I really am. It always kind of makes me giggle as I'm doing my makeup. I'm like, wow, I really am fair. Okay, I'm gonna go back in with my foundation brush and just kind of like diffuse everything. Let's see how all of these kind of melt together as the day goes on, but I will say it's looking good so far. I do love that color of the Kosas, and I forgot how absolutely hydrating and beautiful that is. So that is a win in my book. I'm gonna do the new House Labs highlighter stick was on the bestseller list. And I actually do think you can go straight on the skin with this one, which is kind of rare because it doesn't really disrupt like the makeup underneath. So I like to go straight on with that, and I normally do kind of blend it out just with the same brush that I used for my blush. I like to do that if I'm wearing powder blush. I like to do that under the powder blush, so it just kind of peeks through and looks a little more natural. But I haven't tried the combination of these exact things. It actually is the House Labs highlighter with the House Labs powder blush in French Rosette. So let's see if this is a winning combo. But I'm going to go over with my foundation brush again, just to kind of, I like to do that after every step, just diffuse everything together. Make it blend, make it feel natural. And I do really like that color. I feel like it's very springy. I love to lean into the spring colors. And it's so funny how these different elements of my life have changed since I've shifted a lot of things about my mindset. I know I've made past videos about both of these things, but I'll say, just in summary, some of the biggest, I guess, epiphanies you could say in 2025 that I've been having are focusing on how life feels over how it looks, focusing on being present in my day-to-day life and not hyper focusing on any overarching goal, and embracing and marrying all the parts of myself, all the sides of my personality that I used to compartmentalize. And I do feel like since those three lessons have been definitely the theme of this year for me. It's been absolutely a year of growth for sure. And it's so funny to see the way my style has changed throughout that. I am gravitating more towards color in my wardrobe, which is funny because I have been strictly a my whole wardrobe is black kind of person. And I still do love wearing black. I think black is a very powerful color, but when I'm shopping now, I gravitate towards things with color. I mean, in my last video, I was wearing a purple shirt and I was laughing at myself. I was like, I think that's one of the only shirts with color I own, and I've been gravitating towards it so much lately. It just gets me. I just think it's funny because I think when you are more focused in the present moment, you let yourself play around with those elements more, and those things seem to weirdly matter more because when you're really grounded in the day to day, it is the little things that matter. It is the little things that make up the big things. And I've really started to recognize that the way my daily life has shifted since I'm trying to be very much in the present. And I think that's just a funny little aspect of it. Also, really quick, I'm going to do one kind of pre-spritz layer with this Urban Decay All-Nighter. This, I think, will also always be on the bestseller list because it is just an absolute classic. So the base is done. Now let's move on to, let's finish up the eyes and then let's do the lips. So this, another Urban Decay, the 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil was also on the bestseller list. And I honestly forgot that I had this pencil, but I do love it when I use it. So this is in the shade Smoke Out. Now I'm nervous for this next step after my eyelash curler because I'm using a non-tubing mascara. I don't use non-tubing mascaras, so this is going to be really out of my comfort zone. I haven't worn like regular mascara in years. Before I discovered tubing mascara, which was honestly pretty recently, like maybe less than a year ago, I just didn't wear mascara. I either wore like half falsy lashes or I just did like the no mascara look. So I guess maybe I was ahead of the trend in that regard. Those seasonal allergies are really getting me right now. Whew. I went on my walk with my dog right before this and I can feel them doing their thing. So I might need to go take a Claritin after this. But okay, moment of truth. Let's test this guy out. Okay, I love the volume that gives. That is really nice volume. So I just lost the footage of me putting on the finishing touches. So I did put on the Say lip liner and the Lawless Forget the Filler gloss, and I forgot to set to my face earlier, so I went in with the Kosas Cloud Set because all three of these are on the bestseller list. So that is what you missed over here. So not a lot, but I am loving that lip combo. I love this Say lip liner, and this gloss is a little newer to me, but I am loving it. And that is the look. So thank you for hanging out with me today. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe so we can hang out again in the future. And I hope you guys have a beautiful spring day and you get to do something that helps you feel renewed and refreshed because 'tis the season. So I hope you all have a beautiful day and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye bye.